Hey there. Welcome again to the F3 podcast, where we discuss all things that pertain to faith, family, and finances. And like it says at the bottom, no subject is off limits. We are your hosts today. I am Dr. Lionel M. Blair Sr., and I'm sitting next to the glorious, the scrumptious, the delicious.
All
Hey,
right.
glory.
Oh my goodness. Wait.
Yeah. The creamer in my coffee. Glory to God. The sugar in my oatmeal. The one and only. The saint mother herself, the living legend. Dr. Jasmine Blair.
Welcome everybody to the F3 podcast. Listen, if this is your first time with us, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we premiere a new episode. And take us with you on the go. You can find us where your favorite podcasts are streamed. Be sure to check out the links in the description box and the show notes. You'll find links to our books and events and other things available to you. And if you want to be a supporter of the podcast or leave us a topic, you can click that support link and you can leave us a voicemail, and your topic may definitely be a topic on the show. I'm really excited because we're coming to the end of season 1 soon. We've got a few more episodes here. And as we go into season 2, we've got some great viewer topics coming. So
we got some spicy.
Yeah, this season was so y'all can get used to us. We didn't want to shock you too much, but
we about to get deep.
We got some great things that are up and coming. So we're gonna go ahead and get into today's topic. And it's a really great topic because you've got, some debate, some back and forth about this. And I've been seeing this topic come up more on social media. But today we're going to give our take on the question, should my pastor know I'm dating? Now, if you've been following the show for a while, then you already know some of our views and some of our outlook, concerning dating and what modern day dating is and why it's not working and things like that. So definitely be sure to go back to those episodes if you have not already seen them, and definitely refresh yourself because this episode will make a lot more sense. So I'm going to kick it over to you to get us started. Should my pastor know I'm dating, and why? Or why not?
First of all, if you're part of a local church and you're part of a community of saints, okay, and you go there just about every Sunday, whether you're super involved or not, you go there, that's your church family. Why would that be something that you want to hide? That's my question. Why is it such a secret? Well, some people may say, well, that's my business. No. When it's a community thing. Okay, see, this is why I say I need to get back to community.
Yeah,
we're segregated in the same congregation. All right, this is why we need to get back to the community, because community is shared life, and with that comes a level of accountability.
Absolutely. Okay,
see, the ancient church ain't play that. Okay, the original church in Acts and beyond, they didn't play that kind of stuff. All right. So why is it a secret? It's not about controlling your relationship. It's about bringing it to the light.
Yes.
I tell our spiritual sons and daughters, listen, if you dating anybody, we need to know.
Absolutely.
We need to know. Why would you want to hide that? And then when the crisis comes, then you want to call on us.
You calling the same pastor that you didn't want to know you was dating. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but see, a lot of people want to hide stuff because they don't want to be told no, or that's not good, or that's not God. They're so afraid of a no that they don't give an opportunity for you for a yes or an approval or anything like that. Because some people some of y'all get yourself in some terrible situations, but it can still work. It can still work, but why would you want to hide it? That's not something that that's not something that I don't think you should be trying to hide. I think something like that, it should be brought to light. Why? Because hopefully you're dating to marry.
Right.
Hopefully you're dating to marry. Okay. And if you are dating to marry, that's a destiny decision. You want to make sure you're doing that right. Oh, you want to make sure you're doing that right. So yeah, your pastor should know that you're dating. Okay, and if you're dating somebody, hopefully it's to marry them.
Mm-hmm.
That means that there needs to be premarital counseling. See, I find that people want to date, but they're not prepared to be a mate.
Mm-hmm.
They're not prepared to be a spouse. They just dating because they like somebody. They experimenting with people's feelings. See, a lot of y'all date for selfish reasons. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, your pastor should know.
You know, and this, you know, I look at where things are currently, you know, with believers in the body of Christ, and these things baffle me. You know, as I've said, I didn't grow up in church, but when you understand the call and the destiny that's on your life, first of all, I think that's part of the issue. People don't really understand that these are destiny changing decisions.
Yeah.
Who you marry, who you're going to be involved with, who you get yourself entangled with can literally be the decision between you fulfilling the will of God for your life and the destiny that God has for your life, and literally just spiraling into the toilet and never achieving that destiny.
Right.
You know, I remember back in the day, years, many, many moons ago, you know, before you and I met, if somebody was interested in me, okay, you need to come to the church. You need to come to the service, the Bible study or something. You need to meet the pastor. You need to meet the leadership team. Because if you mistreat me, these are the people that's going to come looking for you.
Sure is.
So you need to come to the church, meet these people. They need to know you, get to know about you. Things like that. It should not be a secret situation. And I remember in this one situation where, you know, that relationship had ended. And that individual had came to the church, and the pastor knew who this person was. Oh, hey, how you doing, so and so? You know, we'll call this person Bob. And so, you know, Bob was sharing some things about, you know, how the relationship ended. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Well, what about A, B, C, and D? Okay, well, no, I'm not going to make her come talk to you. You need to go fast and pray and get yourself together. Now, can you imagine if this was just some random person? Now, mind you, I'm in leadership training at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine if just this random young man just showed up and it's like, hi, who are you? What? Huh? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The pastor would have been like, what? So, you know, then I got a call for the pastor. So-and-so just came by. They just left my office.
Oh, Lord, left the office.
Mm-hmm. Just showed, yeah, so-and-so just left my office. You see what I'm saying? These are not things, when you think about this from the position of the pastor, the apostle, whoever that leader is that you've submitted to, nobody wants to be sitting in the church during their office hours and some random person shows up and you're in a relationship with them and there's this whole drama going on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It creates a situation. So you brought up a very good point. If these people are your church family, if this is where you belong, this is where you've submitted for your soul to be watched over, why would you not want them to know that you are dating somebody? First of all, if you are ashamed or feel you need to hide the relationship, why are you with them?
Right, for real.
Why are you? It's like I saw on social media. If you can't post them, they can't post you. Y'all not supposed to be together. So why would you not want anybody to get to know? The other thing that people forget to consider is when you are in a new relationship and, you know, you've got all these butterflies and, you know, every time you see this person, your stomach just turns. You're in a place where your logic thinking is not always working properly.
Come on.
And, you know, we're all human. We've all been there at some point. And it takes an outside eye, an outside ear to hear and see the things that you cannot see while you are currently in a state of being swooned and enamored by this person. And sometimes it's good to have a level-headed person that is not involved in that relationship to be able to see and point out the things that you don't see. Because at that point, most people, you know, they're already invested. You like this person, you're in strong infatuation with this person. I wouldn't even say it's love yet because you like the idea of them. Godzilla has not come up yet. You like the idea of them and you don't want anybody to tell you anything negative or anything you don't want to hear because you are already focused.
Right.
You are now involved and invested, and anything else is going to ruin your happiness, quote unquote.
Lord have mercy. If I hear that word happiness one more time, Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, if your happiness is either outside of the will of God, if your happiness is distracting from the calling and destiny that you have on your life, if your happiness has the potential to take you away from the assignment God has for you, can we really call this happiness? Is this really the version of happiness we should be living as believers?
First of all, this reminds me of a conversation I had just the other night with one of our spiritual daughters. She was asking me specifically about dating. And she was questions along the lines of like, what is your role in my dating life? And things like that. And how do you view all that? And so, you know, I told her this is what you look for in a man.
Yes.
You know, he may not be perfect, but these are the key qualities that he has to have. And if he don't have these qualities, then you need to strongly encourage him. Use your power of influence for good. Because women, y'all are very persuasive. Okay, so use your power of influence for good and point him to the right direction concerning that. So you know, the thing about it is, she asked her spiritual father, quote unquote pastor, okay, about dating before she even. That's a wise woman.
Yes, very wise.
She said, I talked to mom. I just want to get your take on it now.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that, because when your emotions are involved, see, emotions are naturally unstable.
Yes.
Because that's the part where we feel. So our happiness, our sadness, our anger, our peace is all experienced through the emotional realm of our soul. All right. So the soul essentially is naturally unstable. That's why you can't be led by how you feel. You got to be led by the spirit.
Yes.
Because feelings will have you in a situation that ain't God, but you try to find God in it. Come on here.
That's it.
Your feelings will have you in sin, okay, but still having a false peace about it.
That's it.
See, the Bible speaks about a false peace. When people say peace, and there is no peace, that's a false peace. You understand? And see, that's really a dangerous point, because that means that you're on the verge of your conscience being seared. The Bible talks about the conscience being seared like with a hot iron. When something is seared, when you sear meat in the pan, it's done. It's done, and it ain't no reversing it. So you got to be careful and see the purpose of counsel from a pastor or a leader in your life. Okay, it is to help make sure your convictions are still operational in your relationship.
That's key.
Okay. But listen, you know, when you bring things to the light, I'm sorry, ugly things about you and your partner come to the light too.
Yes.
That's okay. It's supposed to be revealed so it can be dealt with, so that y'all can have a better foundation. Okay. Listen, if somebody's manipulative, that thing need to be pointed out.
Absolutely.
Because see, guess what? If it's not, then guess what? Y'all gonna get married. And then guess what? The manipulative tendencies are going to go on in the marriage. Okay. And then you're going to find yourself in a situation. See, we just thinking about the now. We're not thinking about the future.
Right.
And see, a good leader, okay, will help you to see the reality of the now and the future, especially if you keep making certain decisions, good or bad.
Ooh.
But see, we don't want to hear that.
Right.
We don't want to hear that. We just want approval. That's rebellion.
Yeah.
That's rebellion when you choose something and then you think God chose it for you. Okay. And you just want God's approval because this is what you want, or this is what you feel like you deserve, or because the other person make you feel good. I'm telling you, feelings are deceptive. The Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things. Who could know it? In other words, the heart, the deception of the heart can be so complicated, okay, to a person with less discernment, Okay, that you don't even know fully what's operating in you. That's why it takes an extra set of eyes. That's why it takes an overseer to see over you, into you, okay, and point out what's wrong. Point out what's creeping up in your life. Yeah. That part. So y'all in this dating stuff, and you don't want nobody in your business, date and stuff like that. Okay, then guess what? 10 years down the line, when that man beat the hell out you, don't call your pastor.
This is why somebody should have been in your business.
Or
go ahead.
Or when she cheats on you and brings home a disease. Okay, because don't call the pastor. You didn't listen to counsel
nobody in your business then. Yeah. Now you want them in your business, right?
And listen, we've seen this thing so many times. People didn't want to hear our advice.
Or anybody else's.
Yeah, or anybody else's, that too. But, they didn't want to hear our advice and things like that. Y'all got to understand, we've been doing this thing a long time.
Absolutely.
So we got it down packed to a T. When we see certain patterns, we like, they don't straighten that out. That ain't going to work.
Nope.
That ain't going to work. They're having a thrill right now, but it ain't going to work down the line. Because we understand how the enemy works, and we understand how human nature works, and we understand that people hide the worst parts of themselves to impress you because they want you to like them. Or they'll reveal certain parts about themselves that make them look vulnerable, but that's all a tactic to get you to believe in them and to trust them and love them, to make you think that they're honest. But there's some deeper skeletons in that closet, I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
I bet you didn't know a serial cheater was in there. I bet you didn't know an abuser was in there. Okay, just because it didn't manifest, some things take years to manifest.
Bet you didn't know a toxic mama's boy was in
Come on. Or toxic daddy's girl.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? I bet you didn't know a lazy person was in there. A child abuser was in there. A
controlling person.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So see, a mature leader can see past all the little smoke screens you put out there and stuff like that. Oh, I'm just a great woman. I'm just a great guy, and stuff like, man, we can see past all that. We can see past all that. But it's better to get the counsel that you need, to hear what you need to hear, so that you can make a sound, godly decision. And even if, and listen, I tell people all the time, just because bad things may be manifested or going on, it don't always disqualify you.
Right.
It don't always disqualify you. We all need Jesus.
Come on.
We all need grace. We all need mercy. We all need love. Okay. You ain't going to be super perfect coming into a marriage, but guess what? There's some things you have to have together.
Absolutely.
You have to have together, and you have to allow someone with a prophetic eye and a prophetic voice in your life to point out what's wrong with you that's going to destroy your relationship. And then sometimes you need to just flat out hear, that ain't God. That ain't God. You think you hear from God, but you'll never hear on the level your leader hear on. I guarantee you that. You understand? And you need to hear, that ain't God. Okay. Let me say it again. You need to hear that ain't God. Okay? Because it's going to save you down the line. I guarantee you. You just worried about you like him or her now. Huh? You like him or her now. That's all you hear. I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all be thinking that stuff is cultish, like when people consult with their leaders. I've had some people accuse us of being cult leaders because, some people try to holler at some of my daughters and they was like, you gotta be my spiritual father. You're talking specifically to the man.
I'm supposed to be a believer now.
I don't have to go through I shouldn't have to go through another human being. That's cultish. But the whole time you got some crazy beliefs out here. You understand what I'm saying? No, indeed. No. You would not have one of my daughters on a farm somewhere, okay, dressed in a potato sack picking cotton, and you no. You and you ain't about to be King Solomon out here either. Think that you're gonna have one of my daughters as one of your wives, and you have about 50 concubines and 14 wives.
No,
the devil is a lie. I will come to your residence and check you. Oh my goodness.
So, taking this discussion a little bit further, if you are, now this is important for everybody, but this is especially important if you are in any type of leadership training or any type of leadership position. Definitely. Why? Because people look to you as an influence. And what you have to realize, you don't fully have control over what people are going to look to you and get a perspective and say, well, this is okay because so-and-so is doing it because they're a leader in the church or they're in this position, they're over the music ministry or the children's ministry or what have you. So you have known influence, but then you have that unknown silent influence. So if you are in some type of secret relationship that is not aligned with God's word in any way, shape, or form, people are going to look at you and say, oh, I can do this because so-and-so is doing it.
Right.
So that makes a difference because you have influence in people's lives. And whether we want to admit it or not, when you are in a leadership position, your personal life affects your counsel. It affects your influence. It affects the type of advice that you're going to give somebody. I remember one time, to make a long story short, somebody had been in a situation where they was involved with this person. The relationship really was not aligned for their counsel. The problem was they were going to a church at the time where somebody who was counseling them had a similar situation in their past. And to make a long story short, the counsel that they gave the person was their approval of this relationship that was not aligned with God, that was not aligned with their purpose. Okay, well, in this case, you should just go ahead and get married. That doesn't make sense. And any of you that are watching and you've been in ministry long enough to know, getting married does not fix any type of sexual sin. Most of those marriages actually end in the toilet faster than you can sneeze.
Yeah, for real.
Because the foundation was not right. There wasn't a substance there outside of whatever type of intimacy that was going on there. So people will advise you based on what they did, based on what they feel guilty about, or based on what they wish they would have done differently in their situations. So had that person really had the accountability that they needed to work out their soul salvation and get the truth and understanding on what they were going through, they would not have advised in such a way.
Nobody, you got to be careful who you get your advice from. Mm-hmm. Let's touch on that sexual sin for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the main reason why most people don't want nobody to know who they dating or what they're doing.
Yeah, because
you're sleeping with them and you don't want the pastor to find out.
Because you're sleeping with them or your phone sexting. Oh, yeah, I know all the little tricks. Your phone sexting, okay, naked pictures, all that if you ain't sleeping with them. Okay, I know all that. You get on your little webcams together. Yeah, all that. But let me tell you something. A marriage that is founded on sexual sin, we've seen this all the time, it will end in disaster if you don't get deliverance.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you something about lust, and I know what I'm talking about here. Lust is never, ever satisfied.
No.
Okay. Lust is never satisfied. If it's not conquered, it only progresses. Let me say it again. It only progresses. Mm-hmm. So you come into a marriage in love with someone with your undealt with issues. Okay. And then guess what? Years later, that lust is going to grow.
Yeah.
It's going to grow into pornography. So therefore you have sex with your spouse and then wait till they go to sleep. And then you get up and watch pornography.
Because lust is never satisfied.
Okay. And then you start getting all kind of strange little toys and all that kind of stuff.
Lust is never satisfied.
Never satisfied. And then you start having thoughts. I know you have them. You start having thoughts about the same sex, and that ain't even who you are.
Lust is never satisfied.
Lust is never satisfied. And then you want to spice it up, and then you want to bring somebody in the bedroom.
Lust is never satisfied.
Lust is never satisfied, baby. It's not. It's not. This is why you got to get delivered. You got to get free. You have to listen to me. You have to have a leader you can confide your sexual appetites to. Mm-hmm. Because, see, you need to make sure that your sexual appetites are purified. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not religious about what folk do in the bedroom. Now, I have certain things I disagree with. I have a line I think people should draw. But that's your business. If you're married, that's your business between you, your spouse, and God. However, if your sexual appetites are not purified, all right, and all you've been exposed to is perversion your entire life, and you never got free from that. You just ignore it and move on, ignore it and move on, ignore and move on. It's going to manifest in your marriage. If you get married because you can't stop fornicating, okay, that is not a good beginning to start your marriage. You already started wrong. You position God to curse the marriage, okay, instead of, you want God to bless the marriage, not curse it. But you're beginning on the foundation of a curse that will hit your children. I know what I'm talking about, baby. It will hit your children. If you don't see it, baby, you will hit your children. And then you wonder why your children in the teens, okay, radically sexualized, and you ain't teach them nothing about sex. All of a sudden they doing weird stuff, and you catch them masturbating, and you catch them talking to boys and talking to girls. Next thing you know, they don't know whether they're a boy or a girl, or next thing you know, they don't know whether they're gay or straight. I'm telling you, this stuff, if you don't conquer it, okay, guess what? It's going to hit you, and whatever don't hit you is going to hit your children, or it's going to hit whatever it is that you put your hands to do. I'm telling you what I know, but a lot of y'all don't want to listen to little old Blair, because Blair little old nobody. Okay, but guess what? You'll listen to somebody with a bigger platform, and then when it comes to sexual sting, you still won't heed them either. Exactly. Because you want what you want, but what you want is going to destroy your soul. I know what I'm talking about.
And so this takes us back to the root of my issue with this whole dating thing. If you cannot get to know people, well, I'm trying to get to know them. Okay. You have friends. Don't you get to know your friends without sex? If you cannot get to know somebody without kissing them and rubbing them and touching them and being sexually intimate with them, you're not mature enough for a relationship.
Dry humping.
Let me say this again. If you cannot get to know somebody, the kind of person they are, without kissing and touching and grabbing and sexual intimacy, you're not mature enough for a relationship. Yeah. That is not how you get to know a person. That is how you become intimate with the person. Getting to know a person does not require all that.
So some people think, because they dry hump, they ain't fornicating. But if you had an orgasm, okay, come on, let's just talk about it, because y'all do it. Y'all do it even as adults. Y'all do it. Y'all be dry humping. Y'all be dry humping and coming. That's what you be doing. All right. And then guess what? It's still sexual in nature. You understand what I'm saying? It's still sexual in nature. You got to do it right.
But we got to get back to the root of this. Why can't you get to know a person without there being a label on the relationship? Why do you have to be dating in order to get to know a person? That's the question you've got to ask yourself.
You can't be friends.
You can't be friends and get to know a person. Here's the thing. Don't you have friends? You get to know them on a good level, and you get to know them on a bad day, when they're pissed off, how withdrawn they are, when they're sad and upset. You get to know all these things about a person without actually dating them. So a lot of these things that you go through and these issues can be avoided if you put your sexual urges aside and actually get to know take a sober-minded assessment of the kind of person this is. And that's part of the issue. We don't want a sober assessment. We want somebody, most people, we label somebody as dating. That's translation for this is the person I'm exclusively having sex with. That's what it really means today.
Right.
Dating means I'm having sex with you and nobody else.
Come on here.
But if you get to know the person for who they are, the kind of person they are, their morals, their values, their beliefs, you don't have to be in a relationship with them to get to know that.
See, that's what makes attraction deceptive. Nothing wrong with being attracted to someone, okay? But see, we can't discern when that attraction turns into lust.
Right.
All right. And see, this is what I'm saying. We make everything about attraction and not about destiny. And see, a lot of times y'all fall for someone because you are attracted to them. Your attraction don't have no boundaries. Okay.
Ooh, that's good.
Your attraction don't have boundaries. So therefore, you'll just fall for someone, okay, that's on an assignment from the enemy to taint and contaminate your soul. I'm sorry, I say this. Everybody has a type, but make sure your type ain't your trap.
That's good.
For a lot of you, your type is your trap. We talk about how we met a lot and stuff like that, and how we want each other's type. I mean, obviously there was attraction there, but we want each other's type. But we heard God.
That's it.
And guess what? I felt God turn my heart towards her. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm sure she felt the same. So God turned my heart towards her to where like my type didn't even matter.
That's good.
You understand? Because honestly, it was my type that was trying to get me caught up in sin.
That part. Now the thing, and this is why your pastor knowing you're dating is important, because somebody on the outside who's not emotionally involved and not emotionally invested,
that's right,
but has the best interest of your soul at heart, can help you see the danger in these patterns, whatever unhealed wounds you have, and why you keep picking the same type of person. Or some of you go to the extreme when you're hurt in a relationship. You go pick the complete opposite of the type of person that you're used to try to hurry up and make something different, or to try to get over a previous relationship. Now, this happens with men and women, but it's widely known and understood. This is something that is very common with men. You know, you have celebrities who have platforms that have said that, hey, the best way to get over a woman is by dating another woman. And this is what a lot of men do. So it's important that you consider these things. When was your last relationship? How did that end? Why? How long have you been single? How much time have you had to heal from this previous relationship? Or am I just part of the rebound to help you get over somebody else? That's very, 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 very key. And that's something you may not consider. But having somebody who's watching your soul and who's skilled at watching souls and seeing this type of behavior can point this out a lot better than you can. You have to make sure that you are not the rebound being used for them to get over a previous relationship.
The people will marry their rebounds too.
Absolutely. And yes, we know there's divine timing. Sometimes God will put people together. We're not talking about those extreme cases. We're talking about mainstream and most common practices. It's not a God thing. It's a convenient thing. And so when you take the time to get to know, so here's the thing. If it's God, wait on it. If it's really God, wait on it. It should not be this person came out of a relationship a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. They haven't had enough time to really heal and process the relationship itself, why they got the relationship, what they did wrong in the relationship, and how to approach their wrongs differently in the next relationship. So then you have, God forbid, you have these situations that are overlapping where you're going through stuff, you meet somebody else, you're catching feelings for them, and you have not fully ended the previous relationship either. Some people overlap because they have issues to where they can't be alone. So are you overlapping relationships because you can't be alone? This is why your pastor needs to know that you're dating, so they can have wisdom and counsel. Okay, if you really are interested in this person you believe is God, you just came out of a relationship, give it 6 to 9 months to see how you feel. Work on yourself, develop yourself, be healed, fast, pray, consecrate, deal with all of the wrong choices you made in the previous relationship, so now you can be prepared. But we're not doing that because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be seen as alone. Being single is not a bad thing. Being single is a ministry, just like being married is a ministry. There are benefits to both, but there's also challenges that come with both. But you're not in a bad space because you're single. But see, a lot of y'all, the reason why you're like, well, I'm tired of waiting on God, that's because you're not waiting correctly. You're not waiting on God while you're in somebody else's bed. That doesn't make sense.
No, indeed, no. You know, people, let me say this, if you don't know what it's like to be successfully single, you don't need nobody. See, Adam was successfully single.
Come on.
He won't even think about a wife. And that's why God said it's not good for him to be alone. That's why God said he needed a wife, because he won't think about one. See, if all you think about is who to be with to satisfy your, God don't care you lonely.
Right.
Okay, first of all, you lonely because you don't got no relationship with God. Okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Before I met my wife, I wanted a wife really bad. But guess what? I was going to wait on God. Huh? Me and God had a good old time. All right. And there was times I expressed, hey, I want me a wife. And honestly, I mainly wanted me a wife because I'm like, I started noticing all them women started trying to throw it at me. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. I'm a man of God, but I'm a man. You know, if you don't give me my wife soon, I'm gonna mess up. You know, I was a young leader, young pastor, women throwing it at me and stuff. You know, you see what I'm saying? So I was in a totally different place. But if you don't know what it's like to be successfully single, you need to be single.
Yes.
At least 6 months. Come on. If you can't be single for 6 months, you have no fruit of the Spirit. I question your Holy Ghost.
I say a year.
6 months to a year.
You can't be with God, just you and God for a year. You don't need to be in a relationship.
I question your Holy Ghost. I do. And I don't care how much you shout, dance, and talk in tongues. Okay. The fruit of the Spirit is evident that the Spirit of God is working in your life. All right. And temperance. Okay, temperance and patience and all that stuff is part of the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
So if you can't wait for nothing, you know, if you can't wait for nothing, something wrong with you. And those of y'all who trying to date folk, you need to examine that.
Yeah.
First of all, when was the last relationship you was in? Like you said just now, how long it's been? Okay, because if you just coming out of something, you don't need to jump quickly into something.
And just
you ain't healed.
Just because you've been single for a while doesn't mean you're ready for a relationship either.
That's true.
Are you still selfish? Did you take any time to work on yourself and to highlight any of your own issues that could potentially be a problem in a future relationship leading to a marriage? No, you didn't.
It's something you need to work on before you try to yoke yourself to somebody.
Absolutely.
Not while you with them.
Exactly.
Because while you're working on it, while you're with them, that's going to cause more problem.
Tearing them up, damaging them while you're figuring yourself out.
Yeah, no, that's selfish.
It is.
That is selfish. And a lot of you men do that too.
Yeah, you took the words right out my mouth.
A lot of you men are selfish.
Look for somebody to hold me down and to be patient. Why? Why you function as a man child and work out stuff you should have worked out while you was by yourself? Please.
No, you need to be single and you need a therapist.
That part.
You need to be single and you need a therapist. Okay. To worry about because see, some of y'all are what people call a-holes. A-holes. For real. You don't, it's all about you. You don't consider nobody else's feelings. You know,
factory defect.
You act like you do. You act like you do until you manifest. And then it's all about you and how, you know, it's really toxic.
It is. I've never seen such a generation of men, and it's not all the men, of course, but like I said, there's a lot of men in our generation are clueless. And I recognize that, some of them, maybe you came from a broken home, or maybe you didn't have a father or a good example in front of you, but there are a lot of men that are clueless. And you if you listen to them, listen to them describe their ideal woman, and you will listen to The Making of a Slave.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, you want somebody to do what? And you're and what are you doing?
And you want a woman to look like this. What you look like? Okay. You want a woman with a flat stomach, and you got a stomach. Huh? You want a woman with a big butt, and you got a big head. Okay. Yeah, I'll say the rest of that for another time. But yeah, you know.
And then the reality is, when it comes to these relationships, men and women, a lot of people like the idea of being in a relationship, but they don't want to do the work that a relationship takes. First sign of conflict, you ready to call it quits. Well, you're not ready to be in a relationship. And this is why you need to see the kind of friend you are. If you cut all your friends off every time there's a disagreement, every time they disagree with something and tell you that you're wrong, or they don't see eye to eye, you don't have healthy, mature conflict resolution, and you're not ready to get married, because you'll be divorced. You'll become a serial monogamist, because as soon as the relationship is not centered about you, as soon as they don't agree with everything that you think and feel, you want to get rid of them. It's not working. Why? Because they disagreed with you? Because you had this whole image of what you wanted.
Come on.
And my God, they actually have an idea of they've got an input. Now it's all of a sudden it's not working. This is why it's important to get to know yourself first. Get to know yourself.
That's
the kind of person
get to
you
know
are,
you,
the things you like and dislike, and then get to know the person on the level of a friend. Because if they can't be there as a friend, they definitely can't be there for you as a spouse.
Most people have not discovered themselves,
and
that's a dangerous. That is a soulishly dangerous place to be when you're trying to intermingle and become one with someone.
Yes.
Because see, here's the thing. The Bible says that, the husband and wife become one flesh. So that's a process of time.
Yes.
Right? But while you're trying to discover yourself, you try to become whole while you're trying to become one. That creates a whole new conflict. See, a lot of y'all are not whole, trying to become one, because you think becoming one is gonna make you whole. That ain't gonna make you whole, baby.
No,
not as a person. A wife is not going. A wife completes you in destiny, not complete you in wholeness. Not like that.
No.
Okay, and the same thing with a husband. Okay, because some of y'all women too can't stay without a man. I just need somebody. I've seen women, they go from one relationship to another. And how you a Christian and you a serial dater? You don't have the Holy Ghost? You mean to tell me that he ain't giving you red flags?
They're not listening.
And then y'all break up because most likely God didn't bust the party up because it's not his will. You understand what I'm saying? You break up and then you're back dating again. I've seen pastors do this. You date one person, you announce it, and then it don't work. Then you date another person, you announce it, then you engage, and then next thing you know, that person then poof, disappeared.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into that topic in season 2.
Magically disappeared. Well, that's the best Houdini act I've ever seen in my life. Well, y'all be disappearing, folk, like it. Okay, y'all be disappearing, folk, when it comes to this dating stuff. And then next thing you know, you pop up engaged again. That don't work, and then next thing you know, you're dating someone else again. Really? Who's your pastor? Who's your leader? Who's your covering, your overseer? Have they told you that is dysfunctional? Because if anybody under us do that, okay, we gonna tell you, look, you don't need to date nobody. You need to get whole as a person.
Exactly.
All right, because all this serial dating is not God. You're experimenting with people's emotions.
And it's training for divorce. As soon as it don't go your way, I'm gonna go to the next person.
The modern dating scene is nothing but training for divorce. That's good.
That's exactly what it is.
Trying to tell y'all. So yeah, your pastor should know that you're dating. You want to know why your pastor knows? So that they can really deal with you.
Yeah.
In this relationship, deal with you, and you need to be willing to face the good things and the bad things about you. Okay, so that you can be the spouse that you need to be. All right. Y'all be bringing all y'all generational curses, all y'all baggage in people's lives, thinking they supposed to relieve your baggage. You understand what I'm saying? Certain baggage you ain't supposed to have. You're supposed to take care of that already. All your emotional, physical, dysfunctional baggage. You need somebody to pick that apart. Because if not, you're going to ruin somebody's life being selfish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is a good place to close this episode. Listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed the F3 podcast. Yes. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Check out the links in the description box and follow us over on IG at King in Queen Blair. Until next time on the F3 podcast, goodbye.
Goodbye.